Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
Chip chip-a-roo, every person who hated running the mile as a kid, aka me.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have so much to talk about in this episode. Should I wait or should I ask you, what did they make you do in PE?
Let's wait.
Okay.
Let's wait.
The way I am so ready for this episode, I have such a good Skylar sides.
Okay, we're going to get into it.
Whoa. I have so much caffeine.
Whoa. How fast are you trying to complete this mile, lady? Take your time.
I just get in my writing zone on my writing mornings, and Max, the perfect husband, just feeds me coffee. He'll just come into my room and I'll stick out my hand and I'll put a cup of coffee in it, and I just keep...
Pull your head back and pour the pot down the gullet.
Like espresso Tina.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing, so.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah.
We better get this recorded before the crash.
Yes.
If you're listening to this, see if you can pinpoint, if you're listening to this. Of course you're listening to this. Anyone not? Okay. See if you can pinpoint the moment in this episode where Skylar crashes and let us know.
Are my pupils big?
What do you think I put in the coffee? Okay, we are going to get into this episode because we have a lot to discuss. But first up, we have a Patreon subscriber to thank, and we have to burger pun their name. This is a special one because he specifically wanted his name burger punned on the Gene Mile.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah. So thank you, Joe de Guzman. Moving forward, you will be known as the Merlot de Casheusman burger.
Wow. You can do a lot with cashews these days. These vegan recipes.
Honestly, give me a bowl of cashews and a Merlot at a bar,
yes.
And I'm good to go. Sign me up.
First of all, Joe. I know why Joe wanted it.
Oh, tell me.
Joe made this amazing reel for us, and it's connected to...
Oh, that's right. Of Jimmy Jr. running. We'll put it in our Instagram carousel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jr. running looks like Phoebe from Friends running.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest reel, and he took his own time to make it for us, and it's so good. We will post it again, but it all just clicked for me. Also, we are so excited to have you, Joe. We DM a lot, and to have you officially on our Patreon, we're excited about.
Yeah, Jozo's been super supportive, and we love chatting with him.
But Max and I just finished the biggest Better Call Saul rewatch, and I have never heard the last name de Guzman until Better Call Saul, and that's Joe's last name.
Jorge de Guzman on Better Call Saul, Lalo Salamanca.
In air quotes.
Yes.
You're not more excited about this connection?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay.
I just don't have as much coffee in my system as you do.
Okay. Welcome, Joe.
Yet. Yeah, thank you so much, Joe. And we're excited to post that reel you made yet again because it has to do with this episode. If you are listening to this and you would like your name burger punned here on the show, even if you don't, and you just want all of our bonuses, patreon.com/Bob's Credits. There's a lot of stuff there. A lot of good things happening. Yeah. Should we get into this episode?
Let's do it.
Skylar, can we... Oh, no. Sorry. Wait.
I
jumped way too far. Wow.
What is happening?
A little rusty, I guess. Do you want to play a little Bob pun or Max pun first?
I sure do.
Okay. We are doing this week Store Next Door.
Okay.
Are you ready for your first pun?
Yes.
Elijah's Wood hardware store. That's interesting. Elijah's Wood. Could be something else. Yes.
You're trying to trick me. Oh, that's interesting.
Your next pun is Sag Me to Hell Bra Boutique.
Bob's.
Yes. Your next pun is Rip Torn Clothing Repair.
Bob's.
Max.
I don't get it.
Rip Torn is an actor. You probably
Oh.
best know him as Don Geiss from 30 Rock, Jack's boss, the guy that owns the network.
Oh, I do know him from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your final pun is Gilligan's Island's kitchen renovation.
Oh, darn. I have never heard you say, like, we should get a kitchen island. Like, it's not
I mean,
in your vocabulary.
yeah, I don't think that's something I would say like day to day.
Say it again.
Gilligan's Islands.
He averted his eyes from me.
Oh, I gotta tell.
He averted his eyes from me. Max.
Yes. Okay. Moving forward, I will not avert my eyes when I read them.
I've never tried to see if someone's lying before. Not that you're lying, but you totally like averted your eyes to your phone when you reset it.
I'm not pumping you full of caffeine before the next time we play this game. Okay, you're up. You did very well on that one.
Thank you. That was really good, Gilligan's Islands.
I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet.
It's really good.
Now it's making me think of like there should be a restaurant that's like Islands, the like theme restaurants or like the chain, but it's Gilligan's Islands, and then you can do like you don't have to do much to it. Islands is already kind of Gilligan's Island-esque. You can just do a Gilligan's theme.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like
wouldn't Islands sue? Like
this
that
is like
feels
60 years too late.
is like so late. Islands feels
60 years too late.
Yeah, exactly. For those who don't know, we've talked about it on this episode. It's a tropical themed fast food burger place out in California. I did not understand it when I moved here, but it is here.
Oh, it wasn't all throughout the states?
Oh, no.
Oh.
It's so California.
Interesting.
Are their milkshakes good?
I mean,
what's the appeal of it? I never got it.
I used to like it. I thought their burgers were pretty good, but it's like chain burgers.
Well, I've never eaten
It's like
there.
a Chili's.
Okay, but go to Chili's. I love Chili's.
Can you vouch for Chili's now, or are you talking about Chili's in the 90s?
Chili's will never leave my heart.
Same here. I love Chili's when growing up, but I don't know how it is now. I haven't been to one in 20 years.
We should go. Have you seen the meme? Probably not. That's going around that says "Bad girls go to Chili's," and it's like the Chili's logo, and I'm like, yeah.
No, but I love that. That makes you feel you're filled with pride whenever you see that.
What was your go-to Chili's order?
You know what? I was vegetarian when I at that age, and they had a black bean burger that was actually really good, and that was like way before they had vegetarian options everywhere. But I also loved their their egg rolls, like their like appetizer.
It's like Southwest egg rolls.
And then also they had like their version of the bloomin' onion from Outback, and it was so good. I forgot what it was called. Oh, it was an awesome blossom.
I was like never allowed to like get that.
Oh, we should go
so
get that sometime.
I've never had one. I have never had a bloomin' onion, a awesome blossom, any of it.
You want to go to Outback Steakhouse? We gotta find
I want to go to Chili's.
Oh, let's go to Chili's then. Okay.
That's the point of this conversation.
I sense a full like chain restaurant tour for us now.
Yes.
We're checking in Islands also if it's still around.
Not that you asked, but I loved their boneless buffalo chicken tenders, not with blue cheese, gross, but with ranch. Ooh, the celery was so good.
Yum.
And then I liked that skillet cookie thing. It had some like coconut and like brown sugar stuff.
Ooh.
It sizzled in the skillet and it had ice cream. It was like a blondie brownie and then ice cream melted on top.
That sounds fantastic. And come to think of it, I did get their chicken tenders at some point in my life, and it was always so good. They were so huge, so like the adult portion.
I've never gotten their chicken tenders. These babies were like this.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Max Miller, are you ready for Skylar Sides, the fun facts before the fun facts?
Dish it, girl.
I am back on my Molyneux bullshit.
Oh, I love being on Molyneux bullshit. For those who don't know, we're talking about the Molyneux sisters, who are writers, producers of Bob's Burgers, and creators of The Great North.
And I want to talk about their process for writing a Bob's Burgers episode. It's not rare, but I feel like I've only seen like a couple writers teams on Bob's Burgers. And if you're not familiar, it's more of like a classic television writing situation, but you can either be hired on a show as a writer or as a writing team. And you back when I was in film school, you do split your salary if you are a writing team on a show, which means
No.
what?
No, I'm saying no to that.
Yeah,
Not
but
cool.
2 minds, 1 script.
Yeah.
Anyway, would you like to know how the Molyneux sisters kind of break up the work for a script as a writing team?
I would love to.
Okay, I'm also going to kind of talk about how a Bob's Burgers script gets written anyway. As we've talked about and assumed on the podcast before, it's the whole writer's room that is breaking down a script. Okay, so plotting it, what's it about, etc. And then if the Molyneux sisters are assigned the script, they will go off and write the first draft. Now, how they do it is they split it up, they each write their separate part, and then they swap. And they said that they are not precious about it. Like if they're giving each other's notes, they are not like digging their nails in like, no, I want that joke or whatever. They are not precious about it. They listen to each other. The work gets done faster that way. And then what I thought was really interesting, after that first draft is written, a lot of other hands touch it. A lot of other writers touch it. Jokes will be punched up. And they said this script is always better after the first draft and then a more collaborative effort afterwards. Now, in this interview that I was reading, the interviewer asked them what their favorite joke was they ever written. Would you like to know what each of their answers were?
Yes, I feel like I know one because
It's not it. I thought that too.
Oh, it's not the I'm too shy
Yes.
Gail line?
It's not.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with Lizzie. And I quote, I wrote a song about the restaurant bar that's across the street from our offices. I'm pretty proud of that. I don't think I can share the lyrics because they could maybe sue me, but it centers around wearing slacks, eating snacks, shutting traps, and smoking crack. I'll leave it at that. So in their Bob's Burgers office, she wrote a song about the office across the street from them, and that's her favorite joke.
That's hilarious.
I love that, like, of course they're doing that at work during the day.
Yeah, we do that all the time here.
Now,
mostly songs about biscuit.
It's true. We went over, Max and I had dinner with our neighbors, and like our weirdness, we're like slowly getting to know them, and our weirdness is like slowly coming out. And Max asked our neighbor, like, do you write songs about your animals? And Naomi was like, I don't think so. And she was like, do you? And Max and I just looked at each other.
Like we haven't released like a
full album.
6-disc compilation album of biscuit songs.
Yeah, we've totally sung some on the podcast.
Yeah. We were more embarrassed to sing it to her than to tons of people listening to the podcast.
Yeah, it was a moment. All right. And this is Wendy's answer, and it makes me laugh, and it also steals my heart so hard. I don't say this is the funniest joke I ever wrote, but the joke I like the most that I wrote is in Mike Benner's episode, L'Independent Woman, when Linda takes a job at the grocery store and Gene says he gets to keep Linda's apron because, and quote, it still smells like her and I like it because I'm 11 and I still like mom. It's sort of a sad joke about kids growing up. I love sad jokes because I'm super sentimental and nostalgic, and I like to joke about it because it makes the unbearable passage of time more bearable. My kid inherited this wistful streak in me, I think. This kills me. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
The other day, he turned to me and said, sadly, Mom, some doggies never even get to see Las Vegas. He's 3, and he's not wrong.
Biscuit's never seen Las Vegas. Biscuit, I don't think you're ever going to get to see Las Vegas. How do you feel about that? He's sleeping through it.
He's okay with it.
Biscuit looks like he just had a 3-day Vegas bender
Did
right
he
now.
crash on my lap?
Yeah.
His morning's been a little wild. So that is my tribute to the Molyneux sisters. There will be another one. If you guys have any requests for tributes to other writers on the show, if you're on Patreon, hit me up on Discord. If you're not one of our patrons, send me a DM and I'll do a deep dive into your favorite writer.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I like that. We should do a little like Skylar Side series.
I love it.
Like Skylar Sides isn't already a series.
We can do a series within a
A
series.
side of Skylar Sides. We'll workshop it.
I'm just thinking about chili sides.
Should we get into this episode?
Let's do it.
Skylar, can we have the title and synopsis for Season 9, Episode 20, please?
The title is The Jean Mile. Louise and Jean create a brilliant plan to ditch running the Wagstaff Mile in order to stop by Moo's Clues for free scoop day before the best flavors run out. Alex, Courtney, and her cat's GPS device, and Rudy are in. Tina, however, is determined to beat Jimmy Jr.'s time after he declines running with her because she's, and I quote, too slow. Meanwhile, Teddy and Linda help Bob try to secure discounted cake tickets from the Wharf Art Center.
This episode came out on April 28th, 2019. It was written by Stephen Davis, who was nominated in the animation category at the Writers Guild Award that year for this episode, 2020.
Uh-huh.
And was directed by Tyree Dillahay, who this is his last episode before he left Bento Box Entertainment to go to Sony Pictures Animation.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This is his last one. Are you okay?
What is he doing at Sony?
Probably being really successful.
I love him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Writers Guild thing also makes so much sense. This is such a good episode.
It really is.
And what an honor to be chosen to be submitted for the award.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he won because it would have been in the notes that I looked up.
Whatever. It won in my heart.
Do we want to jump into this mile conversation or do you want to jump into the story a little bit first?
I think we have to get the mile conversation out of the way.
Let's do it.
Okay, were you required to run like an 8-minute mile or something in school?
Yes.
Okay. And was this like from the government?
I assume so. This was the 90s, so there was like a big like Arnold Schwarzenegger was like involved with like the president or with the White House, and he was like all about physical fitness
This
for
sounds
kids.
like a California thing.
No, it was everywhere. It was a big thing. So yeah, there was all like big like requirements. You had to do this many. You had to do a mile every now and then. You had to do in a certain amount of time. You had to do a certain amount of pull-ups. You had to do sit-ups.
The pull-ups.
Oh,
Why on earth do I need to do a freaking pull-up?
oh man, Skylar and I were in a park walking Biscuit recently, and she went to go do a pull-up. And how'd that go for you?
I got stuck. I can't do a pull-up, but to be fair, I probably weigh like twice as much as I did in middle school.
That typically happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have that thing? We had to do a hamstring stretching test, and like it was like this wood block, and you put your hamstring out and you have to reach, and then whatever line your fingers hit.
Yes. Yeah, I would fail that now.
It was horrible. Yeah, you would.
My hamstrings are not well stretched.
Yeah. I did not ever have to run a mile. We had to do this thing where you run back and forth across the gym, and like, so you'd run and it'd go beep, and you needed to get to the end of the gym by the beep. And then you turn around and you run back and it goes beep, and you need to get there. And then the beeps get shorter and shorter and shorter until you're sprinting. It's like beep, beep.
Oh my God, I would be having like nightmares about that as an adult.
Yeah.
I would hear that beep in my head.
Yeah. I mean, I always like, and once you can't keep up with the beeps, you're like, go sit down on the side.
Oh, sign me up.
And so then there's like, you know, the last two competitive boys normally just like sprinting back and forth.
Yeah. And it was always the same kid.
Yep.
Like there was like two kids. There was always like one boy and one girl who were always just like number one every year.
Yeah.
I still remember Chris Schibel.
Oh,
and
shit.
Karina Siam. I hope you all...
Is that your ex-girlfriend?
I hope... No. This was in elementary school. I hope you all are doing wonderfully out there. But you two show-offs in elementary school.
Jean and Louise would not be impressed.
No, not at all. I'm way more impressed with what Louise pulls off in this episode.
I love this plan.
Me too.
And everyone
Brilliant.
really gets in on it.
Yeah.
Jean's in on it. Courtney is such a great addition to this group. So if you don't remember, everyone has to run on the outskirts of the perimeter of Wagstaff, but Louise and her posse decide to stash bikes, and instead of run, they're going to go get free ice cream, come back, but in order to make sure they're not lagging behind, they're tracking the slowest person in their grade.
Large Tommy.
Large Tommy!
This is probably his biggest episode yet.
Well, a few months ago, you were like, who is this kid who's always in the background? And we had forgotten that he's develops into a real character on the show. Yeah,
he's so recognizable in the background. He's such a funny looking kid with his big old glasses. But I'm glad to see him having his episode to shine here.
The milk in his backpack. I couldn't get over it.
Large Tommy, what are you doing, man?
I loved him. He stole my heart.
I love seeing Jean and him team up. It was great.
I do too.
I do want to say that I love the dynamic now after this last episode with Alex and Courtney. I love the dynamic with Jean and Courtney and Alex. I love the friendship there.
Remind everyone the last time we saw this trio. Alex
was picked instead of Jean because Jean said no to ice skate with Courtney, and there was a little bit of
roller skate.
What was it? Roller skate?
Yeah.
Ice skate, whatever. It was some kind of skating.
There was costumes involved.
Yeah. And there was a little bit of jealousy.
Courtney's dad was overbearing.
As he usually is. He is in this episode too.
Yep.
Doug Wheeler, man. But it ended great. They all came together. They realized they like just being friends, the three of them. And it shows in this episode too. Courtney's annoying. We all know that. We've discussed that time and time again. We have a new YouTube series called My Favorite Episode that is hopefully coming out soon for you to watch. And we discuss how annoying Courtney is in an episode we do on there. But I love their dynamic. I love their group hug. I love Rudy getting in on the group hug.
Louise does not. Nope. This episode my notes are way too full, but it hits so much. And I didn't even think that this was a perfect continuation of that threesome's friendship. It's also a perfect continuation of Louise's journey to get her training wheels off. And
she does great in this. She's on a two-wheeler and she's doing it with one hand now.
Yeah, at the beginning of the episode, or not the beginning, but the beginning of the bike ride, she's a little wobbly on her two wheels, but by the end, she's like, I'm riding with one hand. And it's so rare for her to not be perfectly skilled at something. So it's really endearing. I love ice cream.
I love ice cream too. You know this. Skylar saw we order our groceries online, and she typically loads them up, and then I come in for the final check if she left anything, and my search history remains in there, and it's usually ice cream, seasonal ice cream
ice cream
pumpkin.
on sale.
It depends on what kind of flavor I'm looking for. Yeah, ice cream on sale.
I have to say, it's summer as we're recording this. Pistachio ice cream. It's so sophisticated.
That was from one of my ice cream sale searches.
Yeah, that really fancy gelato brand. It starts with a T. Yeah. Max found it 50% off. And to me, when I was growing up, that gelato was so expensive. It was
still is.
It was really special or scary to buy it. Now every freaking carton of ice cream out in California is $10.
Yeah, unless you're buying store brands, generic, or
a mini
Breyers or Dryers.
Yeah,
those are always
yeah,
cheaper ones, but everything else is so expensive.
Anyway, back to pistachio ice cream. It just takes me somewhere. I am a gorgeous Italian woman in sandals and a sundress, just walking through a piazza.
I've witnessed this. It's very awkward when you're not inside Skylar's head,
exactly,
watching it happen.
It takes me somewhere. Go get some pistachio gelato or ice cream.
That's such a Linda Belcher thing. Is that she's picturing herself and Bob's just watching her.
Yeah, okay,
Lynn.
Her Christmas dream. She's just standing on the bed, the covers are off me.
Yeah,
Lynn.
Did you ever have you ever been to a free scoop day or free 7-Eleven does free Slurpee day?
What?
They did one recently where they said you can bring in your own container, and there was like there were certain limitations like for what you can bring in, but if you could fill it up, you could take it out with you.
I was literally thinking about the Breaking Bad plastic bin that they're going to dissolve the body in. I was like, I'd bring that in.
But not with the body in it.
No.
Okay, smart move.
I loved Slurpees. I've never heard of a free Slurpee day.
That's like the one thing I have done, I feel like, at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Baskin Robbins does free scoops.
I think they do, and I think Ben and Jerry's does.
We don't have one near us.
No. I think there's one in Century City is the closest, probably.
The problem is you have a summer birthday. I don't want a free scoop of ice cream on my birthday. One, because it's December.
I do.
Two, by the time we get to my birthday, I don't want any more sweets. We have been eating through Thanksgiving. We have been eating through Christmas.
That's true.
I'm like done.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'll still have ice cream on your birthday.
Okay. We should go. Let's go get a punch card.
Ice cream peppermint search.
Yeah,
ice cream gingerbread.
Oh, okay. I think this is one of my favorite episodes. Actually, this is tell everybody what we're doing on our new podcast. It will be released in this feed. So you're going to get extra
what I just talked about.
Podcast episodes. What you just talked about. Tell them the format and like what we're doing.
Okay, so it's primarily a visual podcast, so it's going to be on YouTube, and it's called My Favorite Episode, and we're going to have very special guests come join us to talk about their absolute favorite episode of Bob's, and we're going to have a whole category system to decide if that episode is a top tier Bob's Burgers episode. It's a lot of fun. We've already recorded our first one, and don't be worried if you don't want to watch on YouTube. We are going to have those, like the audio posts on the main feed too.
Yes, it'll be free.
But we're not going anywhere. Like Bob's Credits is still going to be going. This is just going to be like a bonus coming into the main feed for you. So
exactly.
We hope you'll like it.
But we've come up with this series of questions. And if you put an episode through this system, it should tell you if it's a top tier Bob's Burgers episode. And I want to put this episode through it so badly because I think this might be one of my favorite episodes.
Hopefully a very special guest will select it as their favorite, and we can do that.
Yes. Also, if anyone is listening to this and you work on Bob's Burgers and you want to come on my favorite episode, I think Britt listens to our podcast sometimes. Email us. We'll probably be reaching out to you. But
yeah.
DMS or whatever. Okay, I have a few just favorite moments from this episode that I want to talk about. Rudy's
on fire this episode.
When they grab their bikes to start their journey and he kind of like comes over. He's like, oh, darn, I meant to skid out.
Yeah, it's the best. And then also when he uses his inhaler to give him a boost when they're running.
Precious. Also his conscience. He's like, I don't think we should eat ice cream without Gene. We need to talk about Gene. This is actually the heart of the episode. Gene's bike breaks and he can no longer go on the ice cream journey. And somehow he ends up hooking up with Large Tommy.
Yes.
And there's something in Gene. Large Tommy's like, you can't stop. Like, trust me, it will be worse if you stop. And all of a sudden, Gene kind of gets the impulse to finish this thing. And we have talked a lot about Gene's lack of follow through and how he actually is a very talented and brilliant kid, but he lacks follow through sometimes. So knowing that we've had that discussion on the podcast before and seeing him be like, I'm going to finish this thing, I loved it. A lot of the times we talked about it. It's happened twice in the season where Gene episodes, I don't really see the follow through of his character arc within the episode. It just kind of dissolves into wackiness. This is the perfect Gene episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's such a good Gene episode. I'm just so proud of him.
I'm proud of him too.
And I'm glad that at the very end, he finishes the mile And he gets probably the best ice cream scoop out of all of them because he gets a little bit of everything.
I was like a little weirded out about all the children's spit when they were stacking it.
Sure.
But I was like, yeah, that ice cream cone does look really colorful and wonderful.
And I don't think Gene is picky about
He
that
does
kind
not
of
care.
stuff. It doesn't bother him very much.
Yeah. I love that Rudy loves the rum raisin sorbet. He's like, I kind of like that flavor.
Yeah, of course he does.
All right, some of my other favorite moments. Let's see, before we move to the Jimmy Jr. and Tina. First of all, I have to mention Mr. Frann. Super dorky in his scooter and helmet and knee and elbow pads. Love it. He mentions the booger wall that we see in season 14 at the beginning of this episode.
This is the first mention of the booger wall, I'm pretty sure.
One of the best continuity moments from Bob's Burgers.
Yep.
They plant the booger wall in season 9. It's not until season 14 that we see it when Zeke and Bully Eve It or Not licks it.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
So gross.
One of my favorite jokes, and you know the Bob's Burgers writers loved it too, is when we go out on an act break in Act 2. And maybe we can listen to it. Courtney's dad has caught up with the kids and he's like, I have lost our cat. The GPS says it's around here. And Mr. Frann is like, what is going on? And Courtney's dad is like, I've lost our cat. And Mr. Frann goes, oh, God. I'm not doing it justice. Let's listen to it.
I need to find Susan.
Who is Susan?
My cat.
Oh, God, no.
Did that make you laugh as much as it made me laugh?
It did not make me laugh as much. I remember you cackled. It was such a cackle. And I was like, did I miss why that was so funny?
Whatever. I thought it was great. Whatever. Another thing, a cool coincidence. We, on our YouTube, found every single business pun in the movie. And one of them is jagged little pillow. In the background of this, you have You Auto Know. So in the same kind of area of town, there's 2 Alanis Morissette stores.
She looms over Bob's Burgers so that she can be a regular occurrence on the Great North.
Oh my God, I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
That's fun.
You Ought to Know is a great song.
It's so good. Have we heard Teddy perform that? I feel like that would be...
No, but I don't think he's performed that, but I would love to hear him perform that.
Yeah,
I think why you thought about that is because Kevin sings it on The Office.
Yeah.
Yo.
Okay, let's talk about Jimmy Jr. and Tina before we move over to the B story.
Jimmy Jr. being the Jimmy Jr. we do not like. He really earning that Jimmy in Jimmy Jr., if you ask me.
I was not expecting Tina to be able to run faster. It was just like, sometimes because these characters have been on air for so long, we think we know what's going to happen. So to see her just zip on ahead of him, I was like, yes.
I think the no arms moving, aerodynamically, I feel like she has an advantage, but I don't know for sure. Because when you're watching runners, like the fastest runner in the world, they're moving their arms.
I think this is right.
But there might be something to it because when you think about a bird and it's diving.
Yeah. I will also
back.
say that dancers have very poor long-term endurance. You're normally dancing in 1-minute bursts, which is very anaerobic.
Yeah, you're more HIIT workouts.
Yes. But you assume that you're physically capable of everything because dancers are stuck up.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happens here.
Yep.
And wow, just off the bat, he is the worst runner I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, at
Those
least
flailing arms are just, what are you doing, sir?
At least Phoebe got somewhere.
Yes.
And was having fun. He's just a sore loser.
I think Tina went a little easy on him, to be honest.
Of course she did, because that's what women are taught to do.
Yep.
This is a hugely feminist storyline.
I 100% agree, and it feels very, again, like I said, he's putting the Jimmy and Jimmy Jr.
Yep. And then he's like, just kidding. Like, let's just run together. Let's just make this about connection and togetherness. And then he tries to run past her. Fuck off, man.
Not cool.
I'm so glad she won.
I am too.
B story.
B story. Cake. Bob needs those tickets.
Boy, does he need those tickets.
He is Cake's biggest fan. Cake is back at the Wharf Art Center. Tickets are super expensive, but they're going to have a discount, and it's all hands on deck to get those tickets.
You have Linda, you have Teddy, and you have Bob.
I love when they pair the three of them up for something when the kids are off doing their own adventure. It's just so enjoyable.
It's so slice of life in the restaurant, which I love.
Yeah. While we're talking about Bob, I had you write something down in your notes for me because I didn't have my phone on hand. What did I have you write down?
It says John Benjamin for Max.
John Benjamin for Max. I like that just as is, but why I had you write that for me was because John Benjamin is all over this episode. He is obviously Bob. He's obviously Jimmy Jr.
Is he Large Tommy?
He's Large Tommy. He is, I'm pretty sure I heard him as the voice of the woman scooping the ice cream for the kids. It sounded like old school Miss LeBon's when she first started. Before. So I'm pretty sure that was him. He's just all over it. He's just killing it. I feel like they're like, John, we need someone to do the ice cream scoop lady. Can you just do it for us? He's like, okay, that's fine.
It's like, I'm here. I did hear that if you have like a contracted voice actor, like you don't have to pay someone else to come in to do it.
I'm sure there's some sort of like, it's all in the paperwork somewhere.
Speaking of Miss LeBon's, our latest Patreon episode is the evolution of her character. It made us fall in love with her so much. Her voice has completely changed throughout the series. Max takes us through that voice.
Yeah, there's audio clips of it and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
It's really great. We still have a free 7-day trial on, we have a free trial on both Apple subscription and on patreon.com/Bob's Credits. Go binge some episodes and see if you like them.
Yeah.
And then stay around if you do.
Start with that LeBon's one. It's so fun.
It's really fun.
What else about the B story?
Everyone is being their best selves.
Yep.
One of my favorite line is they're calling. It's like they've prepped for this. They need to call at 11. And Linda's like, oh my God, what's the number? Is that 8 of boobs? And Bob is like, why would it be a boob? Why would it be boobs? And then Teddy is teddying. He gets through and his phone dies and then he goes out to the car and then Bob is bobbing and he screams at Teddy and he's unhinged and I love unhinged Bob and God, I love this restaurant.
And it takes us into the end credits. Basically, the episode kind of ends with, well, we'll hear it going into the end credits, but some tickets have been set aside from Teddy's first call that got disconnected. And it's kind of like left open-ended. Like, did they actually eventually get those tickets that were set aside until we get into the end credits? So should we get going?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's listen to that last moment, and then we'll talk about these end credits.
Yes, that's yep, you called me. Right. How you doing? Hey, I gotta ask, what is that accent? Is it Jamaican or Scottish?
Teddy!
Hey, I should probably just get those tickets. So if I could go, hello? Bobby, can I borrow your phone real quick?
Oh my God. I love Teddy so much.
I do too, but I also like if Teddy was my friend or my relative, I would go crazy. I'd be like, Teddy, stop chit-chatting.
Like, if you weren't here, this could go faster.
Yes.
I love him. I love him. Some people can't watch him. I love him.
Okay, so as we get into the end credits, we have the white screen is on the right with the credits, and then in like a kind of like spotlight circle is Bob, clearly sitting at Cake 2, sorry.
And then
what is it called? Cake 2.
Cake back something.
Cake it to the limit. It's some
yes,
kind of,
yes,
I don't think that's it, but it's like something.
I think it is.
Some pun. And it's really just a close-up of Bob watching Cake. And you hear
audience.
Cake in the background with this music.
We hear Cake, but then we also see a shadow on Bob's face, and you can assume that the curtain has risen. and his eyes light up and we follow his pupils. And it is a masterclass in face acting.
It really is. And maybe we'll like try and like talk over
Yeah,
this
I like that
because
idea.
to just talk about like what Bob's face is doing. So I won't turn
You
it
do
super
it.
high here. Okay. Okay. He's just excited, bobbing his head side to side. Now his mouth is open like he's panting. And now he's back side to side, bobbing his head. And now he's got like an O face. And
amazement.
His fists are up in excitement. He's looking around.
Wait, pause.
Yeah.
He looks to his audience, his fellow audience members.
Yeah. I don't think Teddy and Linda are there with him. I think he's there solo.
Yeah, I know they got 2 tickets, but he definitely seems like he's there by himself. And like, it's that thing where it's like, did you just see that?
There's a shirt. You can make out like a shirt behind him. It's like a green shirt. And I like to think that that's Trev back there. That Trev decided to go see Cake too.
Oh my God, what if he's on a date with Ron?
That'd be lovely.
I pray.
Okay, now his eyes are just moving around and he's wiping a tear away at the very end. And those are the end credits. I don't do that here. Should we score these?
Yeah, my
Okay.
sweet Bobby.
We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's You want to go first?
No, let me lock in. Okay. Oh no, I'm wavering between 2.
A 2? You gave it
Between
a 2?
2 numbers.
We've never given a 2 before on this.
I'm wavering between 2 different scores.
As much as I love Bob so much. I am comparing this to all other end credit sequences,
Mhm.
and I just have to give it a 5.5. No?
Mon Dieu.
Are you much higher?
Yeah. I'm an 8.
Really? I don't think we've ever like...
It's this private moment with Bob, and it is part of the plot of the episode. We never know if they get the tickets until we see him sitting here.
I'm going to come up to a 6.5.
And it's a continuation. We've talked about how this episode is built on continuations of characters. We have the threesome friendship. We have Louise's bike riding, and we have Bob's love for Cake. When he looks to his audience.
I told you I'm coming up to 6.5, but that's as high as I'm going to go.
He looks to the audience and he's like, did you just see that?
Nobody is a bigger Bob Belcher fan than I am. And I hear you, but I am comparing this to all other end credit sequences and the 10s that we give.
I didn't give a 10.
I know. I'm just saying. I love Bob. I love Bob's facial expressions, but maybe we could have had a whole song about ice cream here.
It's true. What lacks for me is I love hearing the like clapping that they do and stuff. It's needed in this, but I'm missing like, I almost wonder if it was like a song about Cake over it, or maybe not. Like
I'm going down to a 6. I'm going down to a 6. This is a 6.
I need to stop talking.
Yeah.
I need to stop talking.
This is a 6 for me.
Okay, whatever. It's fine. I'm going up to an 8.5.
Really?
Yeah, because I need
Okay, I'm going to have to go through some 8.5s and pull them up and see.
No, because I'm making the average
I see.
higher.
Okay, then I'll go back down.
I'll go to
my
a 10.
original.
Don't make me.
2. I'm going to go to your original 2 that you selected. No, I am staying at a 6 for this.
I'm staying at an 8.
Okay.
If you are a Patreon member, go into our Discord channel that says credit score, because there's such a what? What's the word? Crashing.
Wide
Coffee.
variety of opinions. It is
because there's such
subjective.
a gap between me and Max's. I want to see where y'all fall on these credits.
Yeah, we love seeing that. So please let us know. Those are the end credits to the Gene Mile. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Go follow us on TikTok. Go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us. Those are the 2 top ones, I'd say. Anything else you want to say? Oh, you know what? Leave us a review, please. It's been a while since you left us a review.
We're still sending out stickers.
We're still sending out stickers. Leave us a 5-star review, especially on Apple Podcasts. It means the world to us. But if you don't have Apple Podcasts or don't listen to Apple Podcasts, 5-star review anywhere and let us know. Take a screenshot and we'll send you a sticker, Wagstaff sticker. It's great.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say to everyone before we get out of here?
No.
Nothing?
No, because
Okay.
you know, in the Bleakening part 2, when Linda's like come home from the rave and then she just like falls down on the floor and starts to sleep.
That's you.
That's my caffeine crash right now.
I knew it was going to happen.
Stay hydrated.
And sleepy.
Stay scoopy.